Are you not too bitter to go back?
Oh, no, Anne, I was never bitter, darling. I mean, they got every right to get rid of me. You know, bosses have got the right to get rid of an employee.
Hello everyone, welcome to Motor on Beep Beep. Nice to see you again. I'm in Ross-on-Wye at St Mary's Church to find the final resting place of Noele Gordon, who played, of course, Meg Richardson in Crossroads. Yay! What a programme that was. It went on forever, didn't it? I watched it a lot, but there's a lot to this lady that you won't realise. She was in the industry a long time. Very big star. She was in the programme for about 18 years. I think she did over 3,500 episodes. Crikey, and it's quite a drama really. She had quite a lot of bit of heartache and usual hassle that we get in life. Anyway, the church is behind me, so let's go find her grave. She was the first lady to appear on colour TV for John Logie Baird in 1938. He liked her blue eyes and the way she looked. So that's quite an accolade. And she was also in 1958 the first lady to interview the Prime Minister, which doesn't sound a big deal now, but it was quite something then, you know. So she was good. We've got the church now, let's have a look. It looks good, doesn't it? We might as well go have a look inside. Spin the camera for you. Nice looking church, in good condition. Let's go in. I love these foot scrapers, don't you? They're enormous. Here we go. It's quiet. It's okay, it's okay. Are we okay? Are we okay? Come in. I'm not singing that. Okay, thank you. I didn't really want to keep in there because, you know, I didn't realise they were doing practice choir. That was cute, wasn't it? But I didn't really want to film them. The lady on the desk said, by all means come in, it's okay, but somehow it just doesn't feel right, does it, when people are singing and practising. Anyway, back to the story. So Jack Parnell, the producer, had kind of got a little bit tired with the complaining. But it was normal to complain, and he complained to the big boss, Charles Danton, never thinking that he would actually take him up on his complaints and then sack her. He just thought, you know, it'll go on deaf ears, but it didn't. Charles Danton suddenly decided that was it. She was going. Oh my God. At the time it was a massive story. Poor Noele, she didn't want to die. She didn't want, in the programme, I mean, she didn't want to be, you know, death in an horrible way. And Charles Danton went on the news and said, so what? He says, you know, if a plane crashes on her head, if she's eaten by a whale, so what? We will choose. And it was very, very hurtful to her to hear all that. Yeah, I think I'm going the right way. I'm heading round. I'm going to show you. It's a nice park area. This leads us round into the graveyard, I believe. So let's keep going. So she was really, really upset. And in a way, they did succumb to her sorrow because she was written out eventually by waving goodbye on the QE2, which obviously gave her a chance to come back if need be. And it was a kinder way. She wasn't killed off. Very nice of her, that. So the real thing, the story behind Noele is that, I hope I don't spoil it if you haven't seen the programme, but it's all about the fact that Noele gets sacked from the programme. Poor Noele Gordon, she'd been in it for nearly 20 years. She'd dedicated her life to it, And producer Jack Barton one day told her that she was being axed. She was actually asking for a rise at the time, and then she was told she was being axed. And what it is, she'd been she was a bit of a diva. She was the star of the show, but she'd been complaining to him and not meaning a great deal behind it. And he was telling the man above him, the main man called Charles Dance, and he just said, "Yeah, sack her." She couldn't believe it. She was distraught. She didn't expect that at all. Never, But she never knew why for many, many, many months. I mean, the fans were asking her, "Why have you been sacked?" Nobody could answer the question, why? And she eventually found out by accident, because a young girl had overheard the conversation in the studio. She actually met her abroad, and she said, "I know what happened." Jack Barton had reported her behaviour to Charles Dance, and that was it. For once he took it as, fact, and they wanted to get rid of her, which was ridiculous. The whole show by ATV had been built around her. She had started ATV, and to get rid of her was just so cruel, it was unbelievable. And then he went on TV to Charles Dance and he said, "We're not going to tell you how it ends." They filmed multiple endings. She could get eaten by a whale, she could get hit by an aircraft, and she found that very hurtful. And in the end, of course, they were kind to her, and they did the QE2, where she goes and waves off the back of the boat as she's leaving. Tony Adams was a very close friend of hers. He played Adam Chance in the programme, and he left the set without permission, went down to the QE2, jumped on a yacht and waved goodbye to her, which was really sweet because she was feeling lonely. It was the end of the programme, and the producer Jack was shouting at her to wave more, wave more. Suddenly she saw Tony on the yacht and she waved with both hands, and that was nice. It made the filming good as well. The producer was happy, but it gave her that comfort that she got a friend there at the final moment. Look at the view, look at this tree. It's been chopped, hasn't it? But look at it. Amazing tree, isn't it? Well, it was. Look at the amazing view as well. Wow. Superb view. Yeah. River Ross. She felt very vulnerable going back to the theatre, and she thought the other actresses and actors were looking down on her in a way. And then one day she blew and she told the story, I'm not a lonely single spinster. What it is, she'd been in a relationship with Val Parnell, who was a director, producer and actor, and seemingly they had a very weird relationship because he had a wife and she was like the mistress, and they all knew about each other. In fact, they actually went to dinner together and things like that. But after 20 years of that, which she'd given her heart to, one day he took a second mistress, and she was out. What a cruel thing to do to her. So the relationship went bad for her. After 20 years of loving him, he just cast her aside. What a creep, eh? There was a nice ending to this story in a way, because she did the theatre, but Jack Barton, the producer, who had originally got her sacked, she had lunch with him, and he didn't know that she knew he was the reason that she was fired. And she confronted him. She was a strong woman. She had it out basically at the meal, and he felt terribly embarrassed. You could see it. It's acted out beautifully in the programme, and he felt so bad about it. He asked if she could go back to Crossroads, and they agreed, and they wrote a beautiful scene in Venice. Now you've got to remember that programme was cheaper than cheap. I mean, the actors didn't get paid well. Shuey McPhee and Benny and all these people were on small wages. Miss Diane, do you remember? You say, Miss Diane, and all that. The sets were renowned for being rubbish, weren't they? They used to slam a door and the old wall would shake. So it was a very small budget. But because she'd been such a big star, they blew the budget, filmed it in Venice, and there was a beautiful scene where a fictitious daughter, Diane, comes into the scene, and she's sat at a table in this restaurant in Venice, and she turns round, and It's really nice, it's really sweet, and that's the scene of her coming back into the programme. Actually, when you watch it, you feel quite emotional, because she was a very strong but emotional lady, and it was so important for her not to have sort of been kicked out of the programme she'd given so much to.
Worth a try, isn't it? Wait here.
We have some marvellous shots of Venice, speeding about in a speedboat. I hate to think what it cost the company.
I mean, I know everybody will be really pleased to see you back on Crossroads. Was it fun, or was it rather strange feeling?
It was a bit scary, really. I mean, although I'm very friendly with Jane Rossington and Tony Adams and all the crew, I knew them all out there, it did feel awfully strange going back to being Meg Mortimer after a couple of years.
Noele Gordon was born on the 25th of December 1919 at 139 Clements Road, Eastham. Her father was from Scotland and was an engineer in the Merchant Navy when she was born. She was given the middle name of Noele because she was born on Christmas Day. She started attending dancing and acting school at the weekends at St Barnaby's Church Hall. When Noele was a teenager, the family moved to 201 Woodford Avenue, Gants Hill, Ilford, Essex, and in 1929, aged 9, she won the top prize in a singing contest at Ilford Convent, where she studied until she was 15. On September the 26th, 1934, Noele was accepted into the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, RADA. As the 30s became the 40s, she became a star of the London theatre world. In 1941, she made her West End debut in Let's Face It with Bobby Howes. During the Second World War, Noele continued to work in theatre productions and also was part of ENSA, Entertainment National Service Association, a performance organisation created to cheer the troops up with variety shows in the UK and abroad. From November 1964 to November 1981, Noele appeared as Meg Richardson / Mortimer, the owner of the Crossroads Motel in the fictional village of King's Hoke. As Meg, she once again became a groundbreaker. Noele became the nation's favourite female star, winning more awards than any between 1968 and 1981. She is the first celebrity placed in the TV Times Hall of Fame. In 1975, Crossroads' popularity reached a peak when Noele's character of Meg married Hugh John Bentley and brought Birmingham city centre to a standstill, with 1,000 of the show's viewers turning up to see the couple. Noele Gordon never married. For many years in the 1960s and early 1970s, she stayed in a large whitewashed Georgian manor house at Weir End near Ross-on-Wye, beside the A40 road to Monmouth. Her mother, Joan, lived in the house, and Noele joined her at the weekends. Noele died from cancer on April 14, 1985, having had a number of operations to try and beat the illness over the previous 2 years. ITN reported that her funeral was for the Queen of British Soaps. In the same month, Noele had been due to be seen back on the screens in Crossroads, with a new producer, Philip Bowman, luring her back to the serial. She had signed a contract and the scripts were written. Sadly, it was never to be. She was buried at St Mary's Church, Ross-on-Wye, Herefordshire, where thousands of fans turned up and packed the grounds to say goodbye. Well, I was absolutely way off. I've had to come back from the church. It's here. I know where it is now. Through the second gate. I'm going to spin you around so you can find it with me. I haven't been there yet. But I'll just say one thing. Noele Gordon, she was a producer of television, and she had an extensive career, and she was in over 3,500 episodes, so she really was a lady who endured and she would always give time for her fans. You could see that. Let's spin this round and find this lovely lady. There we go. When you saw the final scene, it reminded you of Dallas when JR got shot, because it's going to be such a big viewing. Right, So, okay, I've seen them now because there's two and they're very similar. I don't know why there's two of the same design, but we'll find out. We've got it, here we come. Oh yeah. Ah, so I don't know who is that then. I really don't know. I'll find out afterwards. Look, it says that's Noele. Hello Noele, I'm coming to you in a second, star of the show. But we've got this one here, which is in loving memory of Joan Gordon. Must have been a sister, wasn't it, who fell asleep on the 5th of August 1979, aged 86 years. I sleep, but my heart waketh. Very good. So, let me just straighten my camera up a bit. This is the main one. Hello, Noele. Well, the main one for us today, anyway. Obviously, Joan would. Noele, I did watch Crossroads and I was on it. Briefly. That was after you, though, when it came back. You were a real star. So let's get down and have a look. Noele Gordon, actress who died on the 14th of April 1985, in loving memory of Dame Noele, who devoted her life to her career. Her personality and ability established her as a national figure in British entertainment, and she is deeply missed by us all. That's very true. Yeah. Well, it's a nice place, Ross-on-Wye, and it's a quiet spot as well. Give you a spin, look. There we are. That's where you've got the big view over there, down into the valley and the river. So she's with her sister, I think. Yeah, very good. Okay, here we go, everybody, and all the Crossroads fans. Motorhome Beat Beat flower. It's a nice white one today. So I'm going to pop that in, spin it round so we can see together. It's not a real one because I don't like killing the real ones. And I think I'll pop that in. Somebody's put this here, but look, it'll make the perfect spot in the little tub there, look. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Thank you, Noele. I'm going to say Noele, not Noele, because I never actually knew her, did I? But you were the star of Crossroads. Yeah, absolutely. And she was a person who dedicated her life to her career, really, because in love she wasn't so lucky. But you could see on the documentary and the programme Noele, she was a person who was greatly loved, and she led a good life, and she brought a lot of entertainment to everybody who loved that programme and to the fans. It showed that whenever she was outside and people wanted her autograph, she did it. So that's the answer to life, isn't it? Find something you love doing and then you'll do it, not for the money, just like I'm doing this. Actually, that's a good example. It's true. I've retired now and I love doing this, and that's why I'm doing it. And I'm glad that I get all those lovely messages from you, so please write to me and I'll do my best to answer. So if you've enjoyed today's content, give me the thumbs up, the comment I've just said, and of course subscribe to the channel, and there'll be plenty more coming soon. Have a lovely day and take care of yourself from me, Alan, at Motorhome Beat Beat. Bye everyone. Bye.